Hello, welcome to my podcast channel. My name is Mimi and I am the host to A Dash of Colors. Today I'm talking to you about change your life. The reason why I started making my podcast was because I was at a very dark place at some point in my life. Somehow I got involved in so many things that actually ruined my life, and that was around February 2021. I started making my podcast because I felt like I was alone and I really did not know how to talk to people about what had happened. I felt like I had a lot of shit going on in my head that I couldn't just wrap around. I felt like I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have any friends. I felt like people would not understand why exactly things were happening to me the way they were happening. And I was so judgmental of myself, and I felt like I had ruined my life. And that was the reason why I decided to actually start talking to my recorder at first, and then eventually I realized that I could actually let it out and then have anybody who wants to listen to me listen to my emotions. And that's exactly how I started making my podcast. So my podcast was a source of relief for me. If you had actually listened to the older ones, you'd notice that there were times when I had moments of breakdown. There were times I actually almost cried, and there were times when I was completely devastated. And these were a series of emotions that were happening or going on in my head. And then I was actually suicidal at some point. But because I was constantly talking, even though I wasn't talking to anybody, I felt like I was just talking to the universe. I still felt some kind of relief at some point, right? So I said I was going to talk to you guys about change your life because I know that all this while when I talked, all those times when I made podcasts, I was making podcasts from a place of devastation. I really did not want any other thing. I just wanted to be able to talk about my feelings because I felt like I didn't have any friends to actually share those things with, and that was the truth. I really did not bond with anybody in that kind of way. So it was just me and my phone against all the thoughts in my head, against all the suicidal feelings that I had. So right now that I realize that, hey, this shit already happened, and then there are so many things that you cannot have 100% control over, even when it is actually your fault. But there are things you can actually do about it, and that's to actually look out or to look forward to what life actually holds for you. And then a post says, if 2021 didn't work, 2020 might probably work, and if it doesn't work, we'll probably try 2023, right? So this is the kind of mindset I have towards my life right now, that yeah, a lot of things had happened, and then it's even more terrible when I have people remind me that, hey, you used to be a millionaire, you used to have all this and that, and right now I can't even boast of a minimum wage. It's something that doesn't actually make me very happy most times. But one thing that I am very grateful for 2021 is the fact that I did not die, even when I desperately wanted to. There were times when that was the only thing in my head, that was the only thing I could think of. So guys, you have the capacity to change your life, and changing your life starts from changing your thoughts, changing your mindset, changing how you feel about a particular situation. At some point, losing my money and losing every other person's money with me was a death sentence. It was my biggest fear, and it happened to me. And when it happened, I really did not know how to handle it. I felt so confused. I felt so devastated. I was devastated for over 10 months, and this is the 11th month. I was devastated for over 10 months. I cried most of the time. I silently wished that I would die. At some point I was actually googling how to die without feeling so much pain. Those are the kind of things that I actually googled. I was just ruined, guys, and I'm not saying my life is any better right now, but my mindset is a little bit different from what it used to be, because right now I am committed to actually fixing this shit. But sorry guys, the Igbo girl in me just came out, but I had to actually talk to someone. So please, let's look at life from a different perspective. Shit will always happen. Life would always happen to you. But you have the capacity to change it. Not because it's going to change and become more beautiful than you used to have it, but you can actually change how you look at it. And that's exactly what happened to me. Losing my money made me clueless, made me devastated, pushed me to a point where I really did not know myself anymore, and I had no motivation to continue whatsoever. And even though I am still stuck with that traumatic experience, I am daily choosing not to think about it like I am some failure, even when that is the only thought in my head, right? So, but I am consciously teaching myself that I am changing this mindset. This thing happened because I needed to learn. Like, guys, I can't even talk about how much debt I'm in. Like, when I think about it, my heart probably skips a million beats. But I really do not know what to do about it, and I wouldn't want to stay here and complain about how miserable my life had become. I want to do something for myself. I want to look at life from a different perspective, that things can change, things can become better. And I want you listening to me today to look at your life, irrespective of how whatever thing is going on right now, to realize that things can actually get better for you. Irrespective of how bad it is right now, things can actually look better for you. And I hope today this actually helps you to redirect yourself and to probably go back to your drawing board and look at how things went wrong and how you can actually start fixing it one step at a time. And it's okay if it takes you the whole year. It's okay if it takes you 5 months to figure out. It's your life. It's no competition, and you're not in a haste to beat some other person. You just need to take your time to realize that this thing is me, and if there's anything wrong with me, I'm going to be the one to render solutions to it. And there's nothing wrong with asking people for help. At some point in my life, I did not ask for help. I haven't still asked for help, but since I couldn't ask people for help, I resorted to reading books. I resorted to randomly Googling very interesting things to actually help my mindset. But that's if you cannot afford a therapist. But if you can actually afford therapy, you can actually go for therapy and see if you can actually open your mind to a lot of things and then start healing whatever thing that has already happened to you. And I hope today's episode was actually helpful to someone. It was something that I really, really wanted to talk about because I felt like people really, really need to hear that it's okay to mess up sometimes, and it's completely normal to fuck up sometimes. But it's also great if we can actually change our mindsets about those things and then keep moving forward. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share. Please follow. Goodbye.